Hello, hi friends. This is our second lecture. In previous lecture, we discussed about applications of psychology, and today we are going to focus on some different part, and that is called as the definitions of psychology. So let us start with definitions of psychology. Now, when we think about definitions of psychology, at that time, ancient man, according to ancient man, uh, there are two things, that is inner body and outer body. So this is the inner body, and this inner body which is situated in outer body. So this is a part of inner body and it's a part of outer body. Now inner body gives order to outer body, and outer body follows all the instructions of inner body. Now, this inner body is invisible and outer body is visible, but still we don't accept this definition, because in fact this is not the definition, only misconception related with inner body and outer body. Now, second definition, which is related with Plato, and according to Plato, psychology is the science of soul. Psychology is a science of soul. So according to Plato, psychology is a science of soul, and Plato wrote volume called Republic. Plato derived the term psychology, and according to him, the word psychology derived from two Greek words. One is called as psyche, and another is called as logos. Okay, so psyche and logos, these are the two Greek words, and psyche plus logos is equal to psychology. Now, what is the meaning of psychology and psyche and logos? Psyche means soul, and logos means science or study. Hence, according to Plato, psychology is a science of soul. But just see, the concept of soul is very complicated, and soul is invisible. It's not visualized thing. We cannot visualize it. The soul, the concept of soul is complicated. Similarly, it is very ambiguous term. And soul has no size, no shape, no color. So we don't have any idea about soul, and that's why again this definition was rejected. Then the next definition given by Aristotle, and Aristotle was the follower of Plato. According to Aristotle, psychology is a science of mind. First, according to Plato, psychology is the science of soul, and now according to Aristotle, psychology is the science of mind. And he wrote volume called as De Anima. De Anima means about soul. Now just see the same thing here. The concept of mind is invisible, unobservable. We can't observe the size and shape of mind. It's non-experimental, and that's why again this definition was also rejected. So we discussed two definitions, that psychology is the science of soul and psychology is the science of mind, and both the definitions are rejected. Now the next definition given by Freud, psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud, and according to Freud, psychology is a science of unconscious behavior. It is a science of unconsciousness. Okay, so Freud explained three levels of mind. So according to Freud, there are three levels of mind. First is called as id, bottom level, that is id. Then second level, that is ego, and third is superego. Now just see id. Now this id is related with all bad thoughts, bad ideas, bad wishes, bad things, bad events. So every bad thing is related with this thing, that is id. It is related with unconscious. unconscious level, unconsciousness. Okay, then just see the third one. Let us first describe this thing, superego and then ego. So the first is id, then third is superego. Now superego is just opposite id, because super ego is related with all good wishes, good thoughts, good behavior, all ideal things, ideal principles, and every good thing. So each and every goody thing is related with super ego, and all bad things, worst ideas, worst wishes is related with id. Now, what is that ego? So, ego, just see the arrow, observe the arrow, downward arrow, because this arrow suggests that ego controls on id. Ego is one of the control systems. So, id, ego, and a super ego, these are the three levels of mind. So, id, which is related with unconscious, then ego, subconscious level, and super ego, conscious level. Okay. Now Freud compared human mind with an iceberg. Just see in the right side figure, some model of iceberg, and definitely you observe that thing, that 1/10 part of an iceberg is above the water, which is visualized. Okay. And 9/10 part of an iceberg is below the water, which is in which we cannot see it. So now this 1/10, so Freud compared human mind with an iceberg. Just like iceberg, our mind is like that iceberg. Only we can observe 1/10 part of our mind, and 9/10 part of our mind is related with unconscious behavior. And so obviously psychology is not related with unconsciousness or unconscious behavior, and so we refuse this definition. Okay. So next uh, is related with Wilhelm Wundt. So according to Wilhelm Wundt, psychology is the science of consciousness. It is the science of conscious behavior. So Wundt established first psychological laboratory in the year 1879 at Leipzig in Germany. And that's why he was known as the father of experimental psychology. So Wilhelm Wundt is known as the father of experimental psychology. Okay, because he performed different types of experiments related to psychology, and he performed different experiments in psychological lab. Now, according to him, psychology is the science of conscious behavior, consciousness. Consciousness means awareness, reality, or real life situation. And this consciousness can be measured and observed. Now, just see, according to Freud, psychology is the science of unconsciousness. Now, according to Wundt, psychology is the science of consciousness, and now this consciousness can be measured, can measure it, measured and observed through observation method and introspection method. Wilhelm Wundt, he described introspection method and observation method. Introspection method is related with, introspection means self observation, okay, and observation means observation of others, other situation. So this consciousness can be measured and observed through observation and introspection method, and we accept this definition that psychology is related with consciousness, conscious behavior. Now, just see, just look after the definitions and changes. Okay, so according to Watson, psychology is a science of behavior. Okay, now Watson said psychology is the science of behavior. Now, what is that behavior? Now, this behavior is related with one small pattern, and that pattern is called as SOR. Okay, so capital S, capital O, and capital R. S stands for stimulus, O stands for organism, and R for response. So SOR means is the pattern of behavior. Now just see the next definition given by Morgan and King. And according to Morgan and King, no doubt psychology is a science of behavior, but it is a science of human and animal behavior. So he included words like human and animal behavior. Why? We discussed afterwards. Okay. So according to Watson, it's science of behavior, and according to Morgan and King, it's not only a science of behavior, but it is a science of human and animal behavior. And now just see, in the year 1990, Feldman described that psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. Now, here is the omnibus definition of psychology, perfect definition of psychology, and this definition gives us the idea about four important words related with the term psychology. One is called as science, because it's a scientific study. Then second, human and animal. Then third word, behavior. And fourth is mental processes. That's why psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. Now I will just discuss about these four words. First is science. First important word, that is science. Now just see, these are the various criterias of science. Very first criteria, that is science is always based on truth. Just see, these are the criteria of science. Science is based on truth. Science is based on facts, real things. Science is based on experimentation. Experimentation is the core part of science. Science deals with systematic knowledge, and science is related with careful observation, detailed observation, deep observation of particular individual, particular event, or particular animal. Science is related with specific purpose. It is related with subject matter. Science is related with cause and effect relationship. And science is always related with some results. And that's why statistical analysis is essential. And then with the help of statistical analysis, we can draw certain type of conclusion. Now, all these are the criteria of science. Psychology follows all the criteria of science, and hence psychology is called as a science. Now just see which are the criteria, and psychology follows all the criteria. How? Just see, behavior is the subject matter of psychology. Science is related with subject matter, and no doubt psychology has also a subject matter, and that is called as behavior. Behavior is the subject matter of psychology. Science is related with various experiments. Similarly, psychology is psychological labs are also available. Labs are established, and so psychology is called as a science. Then various types of hypothesis are there in psychology. Hypothesis means assumptions, predictions or assumptions, and these hypotheses are there. Then experiments have a particular objectives and purpose. A statistical analysis is there. This observation is also very systematic, scientific and systematic observation. And last but not the least, conclusions are drawn. And that's why psychology is also called as a science. Psychology has got the that particular effect. Okay. Now the another important word, that is human and animal. Psychology is the science of human and animal behavior. Why we use the word human and animal? So in that definition, the word human and animal is used because there are different types of experiments, and some experiments are very complicated, very difficult, and very dangerous, and it's really impossible for us to perform such type of experiments on human being. And at that time, we can perform such type of experiments on animals, and then we compare animals with human beings. Okay, and then we can draw certain type of conclusion, and that's why psychologists used mammals. Okay, and then we can compare can perform some experiments, dangerous and difficult experiments on animals. The second thing, animals are easily available. And so it's possible for us to do such type of experiments on animals, and we can study so many generations within a very short period. And that's why we can use, we means psychologists use various types of animals, mammals. So we use the word human and animal. Okay, then next, so our first important word science, second is human and animal, then third important word that is behavior. No doubt behavior, SOR is called as behavior. Now what is that SOR? Because our behavior is very vague concept, very complicated concept, and behavior is no doubt, it is a subject matter of psychology. Now just see, response given by the individual to any type of stimulus is called as behavior. Just see the arrows, observe that arrows in SOR pattern, that response given by the individual to any type of stimulus is called as behavior. S stands for stimulus, O stands for organism, and R stands for response. So let us discuss this thing, SOR. Okay. Now just see, SOR. What is that S? S stands for stimulus. Stimulus means any type of object, event, incident, then air, light, smell, sound, touch, any type of things, person. So that is called as stimulus. So that is stimulus. Asking question, stimulus. Okay. Now O. O stands for organism. Organism means here involvement of the individual is very essential. Initially, the chain was like that, SR chain was there. But instead of SR, this SOR chain is very popular. So SOR, because involvement of the individual is very essential. Only stimulus and response, it is not sufficient. So in between that intermediate, that in between intermittent variable, that is O, and that O is very important. O stands for organism, so involvement of the individual is very important, that is O. And R means response, so response, your action, activity, so that is R. For example, asking question, stimulus, involvement of the individual, thinking process starts, and R, response, giving answer. That is SOR. Now, one more important word, that is mental processes. Now, this mental process is totally related with psychology. Now, this mental process is also involved in, it is related with SOR. Just see, first S, that S means stands for stimulus. Any type of stimulus first enters into sensory organ. Okay, so that sensory organ is related, sensory organs, and that's why it is related with sensation. Sensation is psychological concept which is related with mental process. Now, if you are totally attentive, because attention is the next step, so if you are totally attentive, then understanding is possible, otherwise understanding is not possible. And that understanding means meaningful sensation is called as perception, and that is the function of our brain. So if you are totally attentive, then only that particular message enters into spinal cord, and through spinal cord it enters into brain. Now just see the functions of brain. Brain is related with your perception, understanding level, so thinking, understanding, problem solving, reasoning. So all these are called as mental processes, and these mental processes are very important. Then brain send that particular message to muscles and glands, and then it give response. So SOR, so O is totally related with mental processes. So SOR, these three components, combination of these three components are called as behavior. So in short, psychology is the scientific study and systematic and scientific study of human behavior and mental processes. Okay. So if you have any queries, then just add it in comment box. Okay. Thank you.